Hey everybody, welcome to Strange Investigations. As always, I'm your host, Ron Swanson. Now today we are going to be getting into a new series that will be about occult symbolism in everyday life. This will help you recognize what the symbolism means, what the symbolism is that you find just all throughout the day. Now today we are going to be getting into a specific, very famous symbol, a symbol that is often used, and that would be the bee, more specifically, the honeybee. So it should be a really interesting one. So yeah, let's get right on into it. Now to begin with, we are going to start with why the bee is used as an occultist symbol. Now the bee represents your average occultist pretty well. The bee, just like the occultist, is willing to follow without question whatever its superiors ask of it. For the bee's case, that would be, for example, the queen bee. As they all serve the queen bee, they gather honey to keep the society running. Now for the occultist, they all follow whatever the leader of the cult is, or one of the leaders. Obviously, for a lot of larger cults, there are layers, just like a government system, for example. There are layers of leaders. For like Freemasonry, as an example, you have it layers up. And your occultist, for the cult to be able to keep on running, the guys on the lower levels have to be willing to do whatever without question what the higher guys are asking of them. And this pretty well correlates with the bee, as they always will do what is best for the hive, just like the occultist will do what is best for the overall hierarchy and the cult itself. Now, to add on to that point, the occultist also has a goal to serve, or they believe they have a goal to serve humanity by making themselves fit for spiritual forces or demons to possess them or show them the way, basically, so that they can bring new information, whether it's positive or negative. That's not what they get to decide. They just bring that information to the rest of humanity with a goal of bringing, or the goal for most cults is obviously to bring humanity to the next step in its evolutionary process. And they use these spirits to give knowledge, or to receive knowledge, to share with the rest of humanity. And the whole shared thing is pretty big in an occult. As for an occult, much like the Hive, they have what is known as the shared community consciousness, where they all are sharing everything. They all have this sameness goal, where they all build off of each other to become one and the same, so they can all share everything they know with each other, so they all are basically just the same people. That's why in occults, a lot of them take away the identity of people, and especially in the larger occults, because this makes it easier to influence and make everybody more similar. Now, in the words of many Freemasons themselves, Freemasonry is built like a beehive. It takes layers and layers of the hierarchy to be put on top of each other. So that's a pretty solid symbolism for the hierarchy present in Freemasonry, is the hive itself, where you have the workers, and then you have the queen, and they listen to whatever the queen asks of them, and they do without question, of course, because that's their job as good occultists for the rest of humanity, as they're led to believe, whether that is in fact true or more than likely not so true. Now, bees are also oftentimes used to symbolize the goddess or the divine femininity, as they serve a queen by going around and fertilizing flowers, and this is seen very femininely, and that's how they are viewed often in like pagan or Greek religion. It was a symbol for that, and the occult took a lot of symbolism away from pagan specifically beliefs, but that includes pretty much all of those ancient religions, just Greek and ancient Egyptian, which the bee can also be found as a hieroglyph. So it also has ties to Egyptian symbolism, but there is a lot of reason to believe that a lot of these ancient religions had a lot of doing with using demons and gaining power from that, and the occultists knew this, so they took advantage of this, and they used a lot of that same symbolism because it has very real representation. Now, to wrap today's segment up, I want to talk about where this symbolism is found and where it can be seen. And there's one place that I specifically think of that is pretty wild to me. Now, if you look at the Utah state flag, it is of a beehive. And I just think that's pretty freaking wild. And it's very clear that it is related to this occult stuff to me. It looks... there's no other reason to have the beehive as a flag. It's not really related to the state very much, but it is a symbol of the occult, and I fully believe that the reason the Utah state flag has that beehive is because of its ties with Freemasonry, as it does have quite a few. But that will be the end of today's segment. I hope you all really enjoyed. It was a fun one, so keep your eyes out for these symbols. I'll be coming up with more videos in this series, so just keep on listening. Subscribe if you want to hear more. Like if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. And God bless y'all.